Hello everyone, welcome back to part 3 of SASS landing page creation. So this is what we've been creating. We have created this far, so we have our index HTML all set up. We worked on part 2, the navigation menu, so all this animation hover effect works. So if you want to check that out first, link would be in the description below. You can check that out, part 2. And if you want to know the basics of SASS, obviously go check out part 1 first. But today's video is going to be part 3, and I'm just going to work element by element and try to finish this project. So let's get going. So I have, as you know, all the index here. So the first thing I'm going to do is there is a mobile menu that if you look at the finished product, when it gets to a certain width, there is a mobile navigation that pops up. So that is only for mobile width. So this is the mobile menu right here. I'm going to work on this one at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and comment this and work on the hero section, which is right here. So let's go to our styles. And for our hero section, we have a hero class. As you can see, we have a hero class here. So for the hero class, I'm going to go ahead and make everything center. Now there's a very easy way to center things, which is using display grid. And after that, it's going to be place item center. So if you do this, you can see this is now centered horizontally and vertically. Now this is the hero is the parent. So inside hero, there is another container, which is hero content. That is another div. So what I have to do is I'm going to nest this here again. So here I'm going to say hero content. That's the class for that. And here I'm going to say text align center. And look at that. This is now all centered. And this is a pretty easy way to center something vertically and horizontally. You just call display grid to its parent and place items center. Place items is a combination between justify center and aligns center. So all right, so let's go ahead and make this. I want as you can see that this paragraph right here, it is taking the full width of the view width. I don't want that, so I'm going to go ahead and make its max height. So I'm going to set a maximum width is going to be 900 pixels. So I don't want it to go beyond 900 pixel width wise. So it's always going to stay in that section. So if it goes down, then it is automatically resizes its font as well. Okay, so after that we have hero content. Let's go ahead and make change the color of hero title. So we're gonna go to, again, it is we're gonna nest here, and we're gonna call hero title. And hero title, I'll give it a margin of 20 pixel. So there is a little bit of space underneath. I am going to use the font size, and it is going to be 3 rem. Save. Okay, there's nice and big. And then next up, I'm going to target this class right here, which is a hero subtitle. So let's go ahead and do that. Hero subtitle. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to have a margin of 20 pixel. And then font weight, I'm going to have a font weight. I'm going to use map-get. If you remember, we do have font weights variables in our variable partials. So, and it is going to be medium. So there we go. And I'm also going to make the font size a little bigger. I'm going to do 2 rem. There we go. I'm not going to bother about this paragraph. This paragraph looks pretty okay, but I'm definitely going to change this one right here, which has a class of CTA, as you can see here. So let's go ahead and work on that. Now CTA is inside. Okay, so again, I'm going to go ahead and nest this. CTA will have same margin of 20 pixel. Just give some breathing room here. And inside CTA, as you can see, CTA is a paragraph tag, and inside CTA there is anchor tag, which makes it clickable, right? So I'm going to again nest CTA. Inside CTA there is going to be anchor tag, and here I'm going to change the color to primary color. So that's going to be primary color, save, and here I will change the color there you go. So with the content, outer content, and very outer div, which is hero, I changed the primary color to primary, so it takes the primary color here. So that's pretty much it with the hero section. It is dead center, and color is changed, and font size changed as well. Now let's go ahead and quickly work on this video section. So I can work on the video section here in the styles. I can also go ahead in the grid layout, since I already have targeted this video here. So video, if you look at the video, let me go ahead and make this smaller hero section. So this is the video. So first I have a video div with a class video. Inside this class video, I have a video element, and this video element is this one right here. And then I have a div class of video text, which is video subtitle is the top, and the video title is at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do style this grid layout. I'm going to do the same thing on the video class here. I'm also going to call display grid because I want this one to be center. All right, so place items center, save. You can see here that my video is right now center. Now one thing's important, that if I make it smaller, the video does not resize. So video element actually works just like an image. So if you want to make an image responsive, you have to call width of 100% and height of auto. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to go inside of the video class. There is a video element, and I'm going to say width of 100% and height of auto. So if I save this, you see now the video is taking the whole 100%. Now this is the huge video, but it is resizing. That's the good part. Now I want to stop. I want to stop at a certain width and say that, hey, don't go beyond this width. So I can do that with max width. So I'm going to say max width, and it's going to be, let's do like 1000 pixels, save. And here you can see that it doesn't go beyond 1000 pixel, and it does shrink and resizes with the responsive view width as well. All right, let's take a look at the filter. Let's do something with the text here, and for that I'm going to go ahead and choose video text, and here I'm going to go ahead and give it a padding of 1 rem, so top and bottom 1 rem, left and right is going to be 0. All right, and then I'm going to make this text align center. All right, that's good too. And here in the video text, I have a video, I believe I call this one a video subtitle. So let's go ahead and copy this. So right here, and change the font size on this, and I'm gonna go ahead and do 1.5 rem. Okay, that looks good. Here I'm going to go ahead and choose the second one, which is this one, audience category, which is a video title, and I'm going to just change the font size on here to 3 rem, save. There you go. So that's let me take a look. Our finished product. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I did, and this is it. This is the end of the video section here. Really quick. All we did, now you can see if we make it bigger, you see we have our nav, and then our hero section, and then our video section is in place. Now we are going to work on the showcase. Now in the showcase grid, for the showcase grid, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a partial, because there's quite a bit of CSS that we have to input. So I'm going to create another partial here. I'm going to say it's a showcase. All right, so in the showcase, I am, as usual, I'm going to import the variables. All right, and let's see, this showcase, let's close this. Now I have, again, all the showcase are wrapped by an div called showcase, and then each div has a showcase item. So in the showcase, this, I'm going to target this showcase item, and so this showcase item right here. First of all, I'm going to say display grid. I'm going to invoke a grid here. Place items, center. Okay. All right. I'm going to say position relative. I'm going to say cursor pointer. I also want to say transition to all 0.3 seconds. And it's going to be linear. So I'm all doing here. So when a transition happens, I want this to have like a 0.3 seconds, and it's going to be linear. So again, I'm going to say color to white. Also, you don't see any changes because I haven't imported my showcase here. So that's what I'm going to do now. Showcase, save. There we go. So you can see now, because of the display grid and place item, these are all in center. This is a position relative, cursor pointer. So you can see there's a cursor, transition all, and then color white. All right, so inside of this, we're going to target this paragraph right here. That is fashion. So open up curly braces. I'm going to position that in. Before doing that, let's go ahead and add some background, the image. So underneath this, I'm gonna target the showcase, that is the outer wrapper div, and here I'm gonna open up curly braces and item 1, and I'm going to individually target this item, and here I'm going to put in the background image. So I'm going to say background image. It's going to be URL because I want to set the URL to here, and I know so I have to go to assets, up one directory to assets, and we're looking for picture 1, so pick 1. So if I save this, you can see there's the picture. Now I definitely have to now size this. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to say background repeat. I'm going to say no repeat. Okay, save. Okay, now look at that. There is a little bit of change. I'm also going to say background size, and that's going to be cover. All right, and then finally I'm going to say background position, and that will be center. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and let's make some changes here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the whole container. This one needs to be in a grid, right? So to do that, I am going to call this display grid. And here I'm going to specify how many columns it needs. Now I want, just like this one, automatically calculate the the width of the columns, or like how many columns. I want the browser to automatically calculate that for me. So there is a way to do this. Now look at this, it's very responsive. Now how to do this? All you have to do here, excuse me, grid template columns, I'm going to say repeat, and here instead of specifying how many columns I need, I'm going to say autofill. I'm going to say autofill. That means figure it out. How many columns you need. I'm just going to say I just want min max, and that's going to be, I don't want anything under 400 pixel, and max I want to go 1 fr. Just take one fraction of it, and I'm gonna say grid auto rows. So grid auto rows, and that's, I'm gonna say just auto. Look at that, it's immediately changed and it is responsive. Perfect. Here I'm also going to make it that it is always stay at the center. I will have a gap, so I want a little bit of gap in between the pictures, and that would be like 20 pixels. Okay. All right, and the showcase item, let's give it like a width and a height. So look at it's, by the look of it, it does not have a width and a height right now. So let's go ahead and give this, and I'm going to do this in showcase item. I'm going to say width would be 400 pixel because that's the minimum size I gave. So 400 pixel, and height I am going to make it like 500 pixel. Save. Look at that. Now this numbers I know already because I know what my what the sizes of my pictures are beforehand, and these are a lot of things. You see me type it real fast, but these are all like trial and error. So you have to basically work with your sizes and image sizes to come up with the right number. All right, now it looks perfect. Now let's go ahead and add all the other item and URL. So for the I'm going to do the same thing with item 1, item 2, item 3. But you know what? Let me work on the hover first. And that would be like this. So in here, and I can use n% hover. And for hover, I'm going to say background image. Now different images will have a different effect. So here you can see the images goes away. Here you see that the color changes of the text, and then images goes away, but there it's replaced by a background color instead. So that's what I'm trying. That's what I'm going to do. So background image, I'm going to say none. So go away. So right now, if I hover, background image goes to none, goes away. And I'm also going to add a background color. And that's just going to be something called a barley wood. And you can see, there you go. Goes away, and then the color fades in because of that transition that we added here. Transition all 3 seconds center. I'm going to have the same here, but with different effects. So let me do like item 2 here, and then I'll just copy paste everything else because item 2 is without a picture. So I am going to copy this, put it right here. This is going to be item 2. For item 2, I do not want any of this. I just want a background color, and that's going to be, I'm just going to copy paste. That's going to be this one. Look at that. And hover, obviously I want, I don't need this background image because there is no background image. And for the color, instead of barley wood, I want a different color. There you go. Perfect. We're going to work on this next hover H1 later. But this is the 2 effect right now. That's going to be like randomly I chose like, okay, this div will have our image. This div will have just a background image. So I'm going to copy and paste the rest of the code so you don't have to waste your time. So I'm going to go back here, save. There you go. All right, and look at that. It is all responsive. Nice. Okay, now let's go ahead and work on to hide this 2 H1s. All right, so to do that, we're gonna go at the top of our showcase item. That's I have a class here. So let's make this fashion here. You see that it is at the very top. So let's work on that. So I'm going to say P, because if you go back to our index, you can see the first element that we have in there, it is the P with the class of title. I can use title, or I can just use P here as well. So inside here, I'm gonna make this one position absolute. Okay, so I can position it absolutely, and I'm gonna say top, and I'm gonna say top 10 pixel. Now since I have, look at that, it is now on the very top, and I use position absolute because I already put the showcase item, which is just the parent, to position relative. So this is working according to the size of the showcase item. So working together pretty well. Now I want to say font weight here, and again I'm going to use map.get. I'm going to use font weights, and I'm going to use medium. Right. Next up, after P, I'm going to work with this H1, and that's actually going to be all the H1. So I have two H1 right now. So for the two H1, I'm just going to say, hey, text align center. I want this all in center. And then I am going to say hover H1. Now we're looking at this bottom H1 right here. So I'm going to say hover H1. Initially, it will have a display of none. Look at that. Now you can't see the hover H1 anymore. And then here, I'm going to say %, out of hover H1. %, is this the showcase item. So and hover. So I want to say when you hover over the whole showcase item div here, first of all, the H1 gets display of none, because that's this one right here. And then I'm specifically going to target this, and I'm just going to say block. That's how easy it is. So we are done with the showcase. It's pretty easy with the grid system here. As you can see, makes life way more easier. So if you have any questions regarding the showcase or anything, please let me know in the comments below. So all right, so showcase item is done for us. Next up, let's go ahead and work on this download. So for the download, we'll go work on so for the download, I want to give same background color and everything design wise as it has on the sign up. So I know I have already a CTA class, so let's go to that one. And here I'm just going to simply control target the CTA download and open parent open curly braces, which is, let me just make sure. Okay, so I have H for class CTA download right here. Okay, this is it, download PDF. So CTA here. So CTA dash download. I'm going to extend again. I'm going to extend because I want the exact same design of the sign up, and sign up is right here. Extend and just copy with the dot itself. There you go. Now it's obviously you can see that it is taking the full width. For that, I will do like a margin, and I want top to bottom 20 pixel, left and right 0, and let's work on the %, and hover. And here I want to change the background color a little bit. So background color, I want to give it like a different color here. Also, I want to change the color of the download PDF. So it looks like this. Also want to change the border. Same color as this one. All right, but the problem is it is taking the full width. Okay, so now obviously this is way too big. So let me go ahead first to text align center. And okay, it is way in center right here. And I can also specify a width of like 20%. And There you go. Now I also change from 0, it was 0 before, and that would put like on the left hand side. So if you wanted to dead center, I can just simply say auto, which will put this in center. So there's our download PDF. All right, that work. And lastly, what we're gonna do is we're gonna work on our, let me take a look at our finished product. This is it. So that's a footer. So I'm gonna go ahead and on the styles and grab a footer, and which is just an element here, and let's just do text align center and have some margin of 20 pixel. Perfect. All right, so our website is almost done. It's almost done. It is now, we're just going to work on the responsiveness, so just the nav, but for the desktop view, it is completely done. There's another problem. You look at that, it is the button right here, it is all, because I use like a %, it is changing, and definitely I don't want that. So let's go back to our CTA, and the CTA download, instead of width of 20%, width of 200 pixel, so that way it doesn't go super big. So we got this, and let's go ahead and work on the mobile section here. So I'm gonna go back to our index, and here I am going to close the showcase, close the footer, everything, and here I'm going to uncomment the mobile menu, and you can see it pops up right here at the very bottom. Okay, so let's make another partial, and we're gonna call this partial display, so underscore display. Okay, so for display, we're gonna import our animations. We'll want that. Animations, and we're gonna also import our variables. Okay, now index, if you see that everything is wrapped around the mobile menu class, so that's what I'm going to choose. Target first, mobile menu, and open curly braces. At the beginning, I'm going to say visibility hidden, and of course I need to import that to my main SASS. And this is display, and now save. Let me take a look at my, okay, so did I made another mistake? Oh, maybe yes. Oh, okay, there you go, because the display was not inside of the style sheet. Now if I save, now you see that this visibility is hidden right now. So make sure your partials and everything, it stays under the same folder, which is style sheet. All right. Okay, let's go back now to our display, and then I'm going to be, so this is, I'm gonna comment this because I want to change this first and then make it visible hidden. So I'm gonna say background color is gonna be primary color, and I'm getting that from my variable partials, and the color itself for the writings and everything should be white. I'll have a width of 200 pixel and height of 250 pixel, and give this a border radius of, let's say, 10 pixel. Okay, and make everything here, you can see it right now, make everything here in center. So I'm gonna use the same thing, display grid, place items center, save. So now right now you can see that it is now centered with all the, because it's a list, so all the bullet points and everything. I am going to make this position fixed, just like the nav, and give this a top of 70 pixel. So right here, it's right here. All right, I am going to use a transform, translate X, which is going to be minus 180 pixel initially, so it's right there. So you can actually see it, but there will be like burger, so you can click on it. And I will obviously give this a transition, so everything needs to be smooth. What I want to transition is, I want to transition transform. I'm going to give the same 0.3 second linear. I'll be consistent with all the website transition here. And then I'm just going to give it a z-index of high number, because I want this always on top of everything. So I'm just going to say 10. Okay, so now inside there's all this. First, let's go ahead and comment this out so we can see. And here I can nest this. I know I have a UL right here. So if you go to index, you can see that in the mobile menu, you have this burger that we're going to style in a moment. But I have in the mobile menu, I have this UL and I have this list items, which has a class of nav items. So let's go ahead and first do list style and then just say none. So get rid of these bullet points. Inside UL, for the list, I will add some padding, and that would be just like 5 pixel. And inside the list, there is an anchor. And for the anchor, I'm going to change color to white so you can see. Also, I will say text decoration. I don't want any, I don't want any underline. And I'm going to say position to relative, this one, because I'm going to use, look at that. It is already has that animation. All right, so I have my menu and everything. So let's go ahead and have the hamburger. So for the hamburger, I have, I'm going to go all the way out of this nesting. So hamburger has a class of burger. I'm going to make this position to absolute. Save. Before that, let's take a look at the burger here. So I have a div of with a class of burger, and in this div I have 3 divs. Each one is line 1, line 2, line 3 with the class. So let's give some shape first before I do something with the burger itself. So I'm going to say line 1. I'm going to give this line 1 a width of 50 pixel. I'm going to give this a height of like 1.2 pixel. And then I'm going to say background color, and I'll give it a background color of white. You can see there's right there. It's right here. So I can actually, so you can see I can do like top of 0. So it's at the very top, and make it like a right of 0.2, and there we go. You can see it now. Let's go back. I'm going to just copy this, do line 2. With line 2, I want to make it, instead of 50 pixel, I want to make it 30 pixel. And here it's going to be line 3, which is going to be the same, 50 pixel. Now, it doesn't quite look like a burger menu yet, but I am going to also add a margin of 5 pixel. All right, so this margin will go here and also here, so there is a little bit of gap. Look at that. Now you can see that we have a burger menu. All right, now let's go back to the wrapper. I also want this one for a cursor pointer, so it is pointing. All right, so almost done. What I have to do is just create an animation that will bring this transform translate X from 180 pixel to like 0 pixel. So I'm gonna go ahead and uncomment this. So it's right here. So if I click on here, it should come out. So for that, I'm going to add a class because I'm gonna use JavaScript for this one, for like a click event. So I will have a class, and that will be open mobile menu. And here I am going to go ahead and do transform translate X, and it's going to be 0. And also I want the opacity to 1, and I'm going to say important on this one. All right, doesn't work. So let's go ahead and work on our app. So it's actually not going to be here. We're going to work on this one right here. We're going to say app.js. Let's go to, yes, it is linked app.js. First, see if it's actually linked. So I'm going to go ahead and do alert. I'm going to say working, save. There you go. Gives me an alert. So it is attached. So for the app.js, couple of things. First, we will definitely do, like, as you can see here, if I scroll down, the body color, background color changes. So we can achieve that through our JavaScript, and also work on this navigation menu, mobile menu. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a const and name this variable mobile menu, and get this document dot query selector, and I'm gonna grab mobile menu, save. So if you go to index here, so you can see that this is the one I want to grab. I want to add the class, this class right here, open mobile menu translate X. I want to add this to this one right here, mobile menu. So you can actually check what happens. So if I do open mobile menu class, just put this one right here, save, you can see that it comes out. That's the goal here. I am going to add this class to mobile menu to JavaScript. That's why I'm grabbing this mobile menu. And the next up is I am grabbing the burger itself, because that's the click, that's going to have the click event. I'm going to copy this, paste this here, and I know that it has a burger class. I'm going to say open menu. So for this, first I'm going to get this burger dot add event listener, and it's going to listen for a click event in quotation, and then comma. I'm going to have a function, and there you go, open curly braces. And for this, all I need here is mobile menu, and to get the class list, there is a class list, and then I'm simply going to say toggle. So it's going to add every time. It's going to click, add, and remove. And then what I want in the quotation, I'm just going to say this class right here, and then save. Oops, there's 2O. Save. There you go. Perfect. Look at that. All right. So one other thing I'm going to do here, I'm going to get rid of this menu on a certain width. So let's go ahead and do that one. So let's go back to display. And to do this, I have to use the media query. So I'm going to say media and open parentheses. I'm going to set a max width that, hey, if it's under this particular width, do this. So max width, it is going to be 850 pixel, and then open up curly braces, and all the styles that will apply when the view width is less than 850 pixel are going to be here. So the first thing is going to be, I want this menu. So if you go back to index, you will see that the UL, the nav list, I also gave an ID of menu. So I'm going to grab that. So I'm going to say menu, and I want it to display none. Look at that, it went away right away. So if you make it bigger, it comes back, but if you make it smaller, it goes away. Now, also, I want to do the mobile menu now. Mobile menu, I will say visibility, visible. Okay, now this one coming from this visibility hidden. So initially this should be hidden. So I'm going to uncomment that. So I'm going to save this. So if I make it bigger now, you can see that goes away, but your upper nav comes back. So I will say visibility visible, and I also want to make the opacity 2.8 safe. And the reason for this is because once it's like really small, and if you scroll, you see that it actually covers some of the text. So I want to have a less opacity so you can still read the text. All right, and then here also I want to make the video title, this one, a little bit smaller. So let's go ahead and do that. Video title, font size, just a tad smaller for, I'm going to say important, for the mobile version. Perfect, look at that. This is the mobile version. It all works. Now this is by itself, it's all good. The other thing, the only thing left is when we scroll, the body background changes. So let's go ahead and work on that. And that is completely done through JavaScript. So I'm going to go back to my app here. I am going to do something called window dot add event listener. So for the, I'm going to put the add event listener for the whole window here, and it's going to listen for scroll. So we have a scroll, so something happens with the scroll. Now I can create a function here, open parentheses, and I can just say that, okay, if scroll gets to a certain point, do something. So here I'm going to get document.query selector, and here I'll have a body because I want to change the color of the body. So first grabbing the body here by document.query selector.body, and then change the style. I'm going to change the background color. So it's going to be background color. And you see that I'm not using like a hyphen or anything like CSS because it's JavaScript. JavaScript use camel case. So it's background color, and it's going to be, let me go ahead and add the primary color first. So I'm going to have the same variables as I had in my variable style sheet. So I'm just going to copy this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go const colors. That will be easier and to make like a consistent with all the colors in the website. So I will have just the object in JavaScript, which is a const color. This is a variable color. Then it has an object, which is a primary color to this color, secondary to this, third color to this. And then here, I'm going to go ahead, and the first thing, before I change the style color, I have to first see where is the scroll going. So I can find that with, let's say, if I say if there is page offset, page Y offset. Page Y offset is less than or more than 500. Do something. If you go back to our result, so you can see that if I scroll down a little bit, it's like 1000. There's a number, and you can see that there is a border comes up. So for that reason, I'm gonna go to my get hold of the nav, and I'm gonna just say simply, I'm gonna copy this. Simply here is just gonna be nav save, and here I will say nav dot style dot border bottom, and that's going to be in the quotation. I can actually specify what like how much thick I want the bottom to be, bottom to be. So I want to do like a RGBA, which is going to be, I'm going to copy the number here, and I'm using RGBA because the opacity, I want to control the opacity with this. So if I right now do this, you see the border line comes up, okay, and it stays. Now we're going to fix that. I don't want it to stay. I want it's whenever it is more than 500 comes, but when it gets to less than 500, do something else. So I am going to say else if, so it's a conditional, else if let me cut this, page offset is less than 500, then I'm just gonna get that and just simply say none, and this one needs to be in a quotation. Save. Now if you see that if I scroll down, there's a border. If I scroll up, the border goes away. All right, okay, so next up it's going to be the color change. So same concept here. So I'm going to do another if, and here I'm going to do page Y offset. Now this time I want to say more than or equal to 1000. Okay, that's the number I came up with the trial and error here. Like when the scroll is here, it is kind of like 1000. So you can do document dot, now you can do document dot body, not body, document dot query selector, and that's going to be body. And now here I'm gonna say style dot background color equals to colors dot third color. And colors dot third color is coming from this object right here. So you can just target the object by saying the object, like the variable name, colors, and then dot notation, and then just mentioning the key, which is third color. That's what I want here. So I'm gonna close this with a semicolon. Save. Now you can see, there you go. Now if I go down, the body color change, but again it stays. The nav color also, background needs to change to this third color, so I'm gonna do that as well. So I'm gonna say nav dot style dot background color equals to, again, colors dot third color. Save. So now if I go 1000 pixel, you see everything changes. But if I go up, it stays, the background color stays that third color. So for that to work, I'm just gonna simply say else, like else if it goes less than 1000 pixel, then basically come up with this and then set that up to the secondary color, which is the color that we initially provided. So there we go. So if you go on 1000 pixel, the body color changed, your nav works perfect, your CTA works, and if you go up, and you see the background change as well. And I made the hero section right here 80 view width for the reason that you can see a little bit of the video that that's kind of like it draws you to scroll down. All right, so this is the end of our SASS landing page project. I will try to add this in my GitHub page, so just keep me posted if you want to see this code and then try it out yourself. Give me a like button if you like this video. Let me know what type of videos in the future you want to see, and if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. That means a lot to me. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.